very much, Surinder. Our next revered guest is His Worshipful the Mayor of Wandsworth. Councillor of Wandsworth, as you will know, is the area or the borough in which London Mosque of Beth al-Fazl resides, and is a very important part for us. Councillor Stuart Thom comes from a background in international business and has been elected to the council in May 2006. He represents the Fairfield ward and has served as the deputy chairman of the housing committee, and also has as a member of the planning and transportation committee. Currently residing in Battersea, Councillor Thom has been in South West Lumber for many years. I would like to request him to come and say a few words.
In the name of God, the gracious, most merciful, Mr. President, Allah Salamu Alaikum. It's a privilege to be here with you today to celebrate your own celebration of peace, love and harmony. We in Wandsworth take great pride in the fact that we have the London Mosque amongst us, that it was founded by Professor Chaudhry Zafrullah Khan and of course Professor Abdul Salam many years ago, of course in 1924. I have, as Mayor, been taking part in a number of celebrations. Just last month I was at the Peace Pagoda in Battersea Park, where we celebrated with the Buddhists their own celebration of peace. I was 2 days ago at Roehampton University, where they gave a degree to Sir Bob Geldof for his contribution to Live Aid and Live 8, and as Bob Geldof said, as a result of those particular events, some 20 million children have benefited from education. I am, as it happens, a Scot, and some of you may know Scotland. It is, I suppose, equivalent to northwest Pakistan, in the sense that we are a warrior race, and we have a very identifiable outfits in terms of tartan, kilts, Scottish reeling, and indeed bagpipes, which I believe I share with you in Pakistan. But an empire, and in those days there was an empire, cannot exist on violence and cruelty such as that of Stalin or Hitler. A modern empire, a decent empire, has been developed from the British Empire through to the Commonwealth. And of course, that was provided with missionaries, doctors, civil administrators, engineers and teachers, all of whom have contributed to the goodwill and better understanding in life. And I include my own family in this. My uncle was the medical officer of Somaliland. My partner's grandfather ran the Bangalore and Bengal Railway. And my own grandfather was a doctor in Guyana. So there is a tradition there of respect and contribution to development. And of course all these things come to an end, as indeed your great leader Mahatma Gandhi hastened the independence of India. A wind of change blew through the British Empire and led, as I say, to the modern Commonwealth. And when one looked at that place where a wind of change did not happen, it took a long time, where the great Nelson Mandela came out from his incarceration after 27 years, it's worth noting that he partnered de Klerk, the then South African Prime Minister. It took two to make that work. And the reason that de Klerk and the South African understood, because they'd been false in their own religious understanding. Once they understood that religious understanding meant equality and fellow and brotherhood, then of course that became possible to achieve a peaceful transition in South Africa. So I share with you my Christian faith in kindness towards everyone, whether he's kind to you or not. We have in Scotland a worldwide poet called Robert Burns, and let me conclude with just his words. For all that and all that, it's coming yet for all that man to man the world over shall brothers be for all that. Shukran, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Worshipful Mayor of Wandsworth. Our next speaker is a very old member of the community, Mr. Indrajit Opo, MBE, is the Senior Community Officer and a member of the Police Advisory Committee. But more so, he's a very old friend of the community, and I'd like him to come and say a few words, please.
It is my proud privilege to have been invited to address such a big gathering. I have been in contact with the Ahmadiyya community since 1975. I must confess that I didn't know before that there is a difference between different sections of the Muslim community. During that period, my relationship with it grew day by day, and during the 20 years I have been Chief Executive and Head of the Community Relations Council in Hounslow. I didn't come across even a single Ahmadiyya people who had any problem or any connection with the police. As a result of that, I told Metropolitan Police and the local authority that this is one of the most peaceful community. When I was a member of the parole board, I had an opportunity of visiting various prisons, and again to my not very surprise, I was very pleased indeed that I couldn't find even a single person belonging to the Ahmadiyya community. I think this credit should go all to you. And when I was in Hounslow, I received support from the local community, Mr. Latif Khan in particular, in all the initiatives which I took to develop good relations between various sections. For example, you know, in this country you have got very many Asian radio stations. This is the result of our efforts. I carried out a study for over 10 years to determine the need of such a station. As a result of that, I was able to contact all the member parliaments. But our in Asian community, you will appreciate that we don't get support from everybody. Certain people say they must be having some personal interest, but it was the Ahmadiyya Muslim community who stood with me all the time, and they lent this support. I have an opportunity of meeting you at Hounslow and other places very many times, and there are so many incidents which I can relate, which really surprised me very much, that how peaceful you are, committed you are. It is not the time to go into all of these, but I wish to send my good wishes to you, and we are very proud. My colleagues, very many colleagues are there, Dick Hughes and other people have come, and they are full of praise about the administration, about the planning which you have done. I pray to God that you should continue doing this, and your Jamaat should go strength by strength. अगर आप इन तमाम आलाते हर्ब से मसल्ला होकर जिंदगी के कारज़ार में निकलेंगे, आई एम श्योर कामयाबी आपकी होगी. आमीन.
Mr. Indrajit Opo.
Our next speaker again this afternoon is a very old friend of the community. She is a member of the London Assembly. Professor Elizabeth Howlett has been a councillor in Wandsworth for 20 years. But more importantly, I think, is the relationship that we have with her over these 20-year period has been a very special relationship. I'd like to request her to come and say a few words.
Thank you. In the name of God, the most holiest, the most kind, the most gracious, my dear friends, may I wish you all a very warm Assalamu alaikum. And Mr. President, may I thank you very much for your very kind and generous invitation to be here yet again with you today. I come as a member of the regional government in London, and so I offer you the